Hi everyone, I'm retired meteorologist Pat Prokop. Today is Sunday, August 27th. Yeah, it's sunny and bright out there right now and temperatures are hot. They have been warming into the mid 90s today, but things are going to be changing over the next several days as a tropical system is developing in the northwestern portion of the Caribbean Sea, and it's expected to move across the eastern Gulf of Mexico and then make a beeline up and across eastern portions of Georgia to southern South Carolina, and that includes Brunswick, Hinesville, Savannah, Hilton Head, all these areas, and Beaufort, all these areas under the path, the central of the path of this new developing storm called Idalia. So with that being said, let's take a look at the maps right now, and I'm going to bring the maps up over here, and I'm going to bring this over here, and there we have the system over here in the northern and northwestern Caribbean Sea. Hasn't been doing much today, getting a little bit slowly better organized, and there over here is Franklin, which I called Harold on the last video. That's Franklin right there. Franklin's going to become a major hurricane, but it's going to stay to the east of the coast of the United States and should go just to the west of the islands of Bermuda right here. That's going to cause Bermuda problems over the next couple of days, but not us. We're watching this system over here in the northwestern Caribbean Sea, right around the straits of the Yucatan right now, the Yucatan Peninsula and the western tip of Cuba. So let's take a look at the conditions. There's the latest forecast map from the National Hurricane Center. This was as of 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. A hurricane watch now has been issued for the western coast of Florida around the Big Bend into around the Apalachicola area of Florida. And a tropical storm watch has been issued for the southwest portion of Florida coastline there. And then a tropical storm warning in effect for western Mexico, or western Cuba and into the Yucatan of Mexico over here. So, but the storm path is expected to come up and intensify as a hurricane into the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. Now, here's the situation. How much strengthening will this system go through before reaching land and then beginning to dissipate or weaken as it goes over the land? Still expected to be quite a bit of a strong tropical storm when it's right over the Brunswick area and moving in toward the Savannah and Hilton Head area on Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. So let's take a look at something over here. This is the sea surface temperature. I talked about this on the last video. I want to show it again because this is very important. This is like the octane rating of your fuel, the gasoline you put in your car. You can put 87, 89, or 93 octane in your car. And of course, the higher the octane, the hotter the gasoline burns. And the same thing with the water temperature. The higher the water temperature, the more energy the storm has, the potential energy the storm has to draw from its fuel tank. You can basically say that's what the water temperature is the fuel tank. And these temperatures are in the upper 20s and lower 30s Celsius. In Fahrenheit, that's in the mid to upper 80s with even some 90-degree water temperature, extremely warm water temperature for the development for tropical storms and hurricanes. So with this, if you have the proper environmental conditions aloft, you can end up with the fast explosion of a tropical system. In a 24-hour period, you could see winds accelerating or increasing, actually, from, let's say, 45 miles an hour to 75 miles per hour easily, even up to 100 miles an hour in a 24-hour period when you get over water temperatures like these. This little area here just to the west of the Tampa-St. Pete area, that looks like about 90 degrees there. And over here, those temperatures are in the upper 80s and lower 90s as well. Off the coast of Georgia, we're in the upper 80s, mid to upper 80s, about 80, averaging about 87 degrees. I saw a couple 88s earlier today across the Georgia coast. And over here, where the storm is brewing right now, that water temperature is in the upper 80s and lower 90s, right in that area, just to the north of the western tip of Cuba. So it's going to be moving over this extremely warm water as it moves northward, and that's going to be picking up a couple things. Number one, it's going to be picking up the energy, and number two, it's going to be picking up the water. And that's going to be moving up into the atmosphere, and then it's going to be transported over the northern portions of Florida, even central Florida, and a good portion of Georgia and South Carolina. Let's take a look at the models. And the general forecast model, the GFS or the American model, has the storm brewing over here in the northern Caribbean Sea, northwest Caribbean Sea, moving into the southern Gulf of Mexico. And there's Franklin over there. And that's going to be moving off into the north. Let's put this into motion and see how it moves. And there you can see our storm over here in the Gulf of Mexico is going to be intensifying. Now, how much intensification? Again, that's the big question. Well, will the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere be conducive for rapid developing? And if it is, and it looks like it will, we could see this storm exploding into about 100-mile-per-hour winds, maybe even a little bit more than that, before making landfall somewhere around the Big Bend area of Florida. And there goes Franklin, just to the west of Bermuda. And then we bring this into a little bit further ahead of time. This is at 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. The GFS has a storm over southwestern Georgia. It's a little bit further east than it was in the last couple of runs, and showing extremely heavy rains and strong southerly winds moving and southeasterly winds being drawn into the area. Now, the other models are showing similarities. This is the Canadian model, and this seems to be more close to the path that the National Hurricane Center is using. And I'm showing here the wind speeds associated with this system and the precipitation. I'm putting this into motion. This is mostly wind speed. There you can see at 2 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, the storm's just about over at Jessup, the center of the storm itself. But remember, the storm is a broad storm, and it covers a large area, particularly from the center of the storm eastward. It's going to be very strong and very severe and very heavy rainfalls to be associated with it. But look at these winds. They're coming in a good 50, 60 miles per hour, perhaps along the coastline of coastal Georgia and into southern South Carolina. That is going to cause the tides to be very high on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we have to keep that in mind. I'm going to show you the chart in just a minute, but I want to show you this map here first. This is the forecast precipitation, total precipitation over the period through Thursday night. So from Monday through Thursday, this is the band of precipitation from the GFS model. But again, that looks like it might be a little bit too far west. So you want this this map to be shifted a little bit eastward. Let's look at the Canadian model run. And there it has it more to the east. And it shows very heavy rains across a large portion of southeastern Georgia, south central Georgia, the eastern half of South Carolina. This light purple area, that is about 3 inches of rain. In the dark purple to maroon area, that's up to 5 to 6 inches of rain. That golden area there, that's about 8 to 9 inches of rain forecast by this model here. What about the, let's take a look at the National Hurricane Center forecast rainfall. I think this map is from earlier today. I don't think it's been updated. Let me just try to see an update. Nope, it hasn't been updated yet. But anyway, it shows very heavy rains. The yellow area is 4 to 6 inches of rain, and the orange area is 6 to 10 inches of rain. And this green area here is 2 to 4 inches of rain. That includes all of the greater areas of southeastern Georgia, Brunswick, Waycross, Jessup, here in Savannah, Hilton Head Island, and then Beaufort, a little bit higher rainfall rates there. But let's look at the National Digital data forecast. This is the combination of all the National Weather Service employees putting the rain forecast together using the different models and their interpretations of the model. And it shows basically the same thing. Very heavy rains expected out of this system across the central and eastern portions of Georgia. This red pinkish area is 3 to 4 inches. The yellow is 4 to 5. And then 5 to 6 inches in this area here. So extremely heavy rains expected to be associated with this storm. Not to mention the wind that's going to be moving and flowing across the area, particularly on Wednesday. Tuesday, we're going to see some breezy to gusty winds. Wednesday, it's going to be very windy with damaging winds likely. I wouldn't rule out 60 mile an hour or plus winds. And also, since we're going to be on the east side of the storm itself, let's put it over here, the east side of the storm. Yeah, right here. The eastern side of the storm is where you see most of the chances for tornadoes. Well, in this case, the situation, this type of a storm, you're going to have the best chances for tornadoes just to the north and to the east of the center of rotation. Some on the western side, but the higher chances over here across central Florida and into eastern Georgia and eastern South Carolina, the possibility for tornadoes to be along with that. That's particularly on the day Wednesday. Those are the squalls that will be passing across the area with a very heavy rainfall coming down. Very intense rain, and then with those intense rain squalls, you could see those very strong gusty winds and also some small spin-up type tornadoes, which could achieve winds up to 100 miles an hour. So we'll have to keep that in mind. I want to talk about the tide because that's also going to be an issue for our area here. I'm going to zoom in on this. And here we have the tide. We got the big full moon coming in this week. It's the second full moon of the month of August, which makes it a blue moon. Now, the moon won't actually be blue, but it will be big and it will be close. And because of that, it's a super full moon. And with that, the tides are going to be very high just from the moon itself. Now, flooding usually begins in our area about 9.6 feet when the marshes and lagoons begin to overflow. Highway 80 between Lazaretto Creek and the Bow River, that floods about 9.7, 9.8. Well, we could see a tide perhaps up to 2 feet higher than these predicted values here. And looking at the Tuesday high tide data, 8.6 feet. If we have 2 feet added to that tide, we're talking 10.6 feet. So we're talking some flooding in the areas that are prone to flooding during the time of high tide. Also, on Wednesday, we have some very high tides in the morning. All right, here at 7:55, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, 7.8 feet. It could be 9.8 or up to 10 feet. Keep in mind, heavy rains will also be falling at that time. Now, particularly in the coastal counties, you all know that when you have heavy rains during high tide, there's no place for the water to drain off. So along with the tidal flooding, there's a good chance of some what's called freshwater flooding, particularly in the cities of Savannah, Brunswick, Hilton Head Island, and over into Beaufort. That's a strong possibility of freshwater flooding with these high tides. And also you can get some flash flooding associated with this as well. So let's go back to the regular size of the screen here. I can believe I can bring it down to right there. And this is back to my website. I'll be posting, and I am posting a lot of information on my website, savannahpat.name. It's so easy to remember. I'm Savannah Pat, and that's my name, .name. So savannahpat.name. Bookmark it on your phones and everything. It's not an app. It's a web page, but you can treat it like an app. Just bookmark it and go to it. And here you can follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, that new thing called Threads, that old thing called Twitter, and of course YouTube. And you can help support my page if you would like, and my channel, by joining my Patreon page. And also you could buy me a cup of coffee. I'm drinking some right now because I'm in the air conditioning. I'm in the air conditioning, so I'm not outside in the heat drinking hot coffee, but I love my coffee. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Just click on that link right there. Anyway, here we go. There's the last video I just posted. I'll be updating that graphic real shortly with this video. So keep watching my YouTube channel right here, or watch my savannahpat.name webpage. And looking at the forecast down here, I have there we have it. Monday, 50% chance for showers and thunderstorms. Tuesday, an 80% chance for showers and thunderstorms, some with them heavy rains. It'll be becoming breezy tomorrow, windy on Tuesday, and very windy on Wednesday, with 100% chance for rain, and then going back down to 50% chance after that. Now, to go into the weekend, will be looks like cleaning up, but Friday, Saturday, and going into Sunday and Monday as well. Dry air is moving into the area. And look at some of these lows: 67 degrees, 68 degrees, Friday night, 67, Saturday night, 68, and about 69 for Sunday night. Labor Day, Monday looks very nice as well. But we got to get through Tuesday and Wednesday and early Thursday before we can get to Labor Day. So keep your eyes on the weather. Keep your eyes right here on my YouTube channel and my savannahpat.name website. I'll keep you posted. For now, see you later. Bye.